It is Saturday, August 6th in the MLB, and I'm Austin from Calling Our Shot.
And I'm Logan from Calling Our Shot.
And we are back with our 3 best picks of the day. We got our favorite no run first inning, player prop, actually, and 2 game picks actually today.
As always, guys, just do us a real quick favor. If you're new, first of all, welcome. Go down, hit that subscribe button. It really helps Austin and I grow this channel. Can't do it without you guys. All season, baseball season long, it's you guys that really do run this channel.
And let's hop into a recap from yesterday. We swept on Thursday. Yesterday, 3-in-1 day. We're continuing a pretty good run. It was, a 6-1 run so far. The only play that screwed us was Glenn Otto going under 4.5 Ks. He got that easily. Actually got over 4.5. Sorry, I sold the sweep on that one. But Logan, great calls. You've been on a great run. Braves first 5 run line. They win that thing outright. Then you have the Nationals team total under 3.5. And deja vu, man. We were sweating that. We were like, oh, brother, if you were watching that game, you understand. And the no run first inning, also sweaty, but gets it done. You've been on a great run. If that's not a good enough incentive to hit that subscribe button down below, well, like we've talked about a couple times this month, we're donating 10 cents for every new subscriber we gain this month, and we're going to donate it to St. Jude at the end of the month. So it helps charity. It's a good thing to do. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button too. This will be my final day in Chicago, so actually we're recording this early, so we don't have our hit streak props yet, and we'll talk about that in the pinned comment in a little bit. But see me rocking the Cubs jersey. Logan, what do you have for the people today? You've been on a heater. Keep it going.
Yeah, let's get in. Let's keep the roll going. We're making some real money on this channel, and we're going to a plus value play at the time we're recording this. But I'm going to the Cardinals versus Yankees game. I'm taking the Redbirds. I'm taking the Cardinals money line. Plus 102 odds on FanDuel's currently your best value. And look, truthfully, I don't know what happens in the first game of the series. I wish I knew, because as Austin mentioned, he's got a flight early to catch in the morning. We are recording this before the game is actually over. So currently the Yankees do have a 3-2 lead. For what that matters, and unless something catastrophic happens, like Goldie, has an injury or something, like please don't. But like I'm advising the Cardinals in this one, independent of what happens in game 1 of the series. But look, Yankees, juggernaut, right? Picking against them. Logan, Bronx Bombers, don't pick against them. I don't care, right? Yankees 41-15 at home. Well, on the road, 29-21, away. So like they really do run up the home wins. I would be foolish to bet against the Yankees in Yankee Stadium with that Mickey Mouse right field porch and all those home run hitters. Yeah, I'm not foolish enough to do that. But I think there is an advantage with the Cardinals playing at home, especially who's on the mound for the Yankees, right? Domingo Germán, right? 8.22 ERA on the road in 2 starts. I'm going to tell you guys that's not a really great ERA. And his whip, right? ERA isn't everything, but whip is also important to a pitcher. In his last 3 starts, a 1.8 whip, a 1.5 whip, and a 2.33 whip. Those are all really, really high whips. Ideally, guys, if you're new to betting baseball, you want that whip number to be 1 or less. A 1.8, a near 2 whip is just showing a lack of control, and he is putting on free base runners. The St. Louis offense should hopefully be able to capitalize. And also, speaking about Germán, 3 home runs allowed in his 2 road starts this year. St. Louis, almost the top 10 in home runs, right? They're 11th in home runs this year. So St. Louis is an offense that can make Domingo Germán pay if he's missing the zone, right? St. Louis is a good offense at home, 5th in batting average at home, 9th in OPS at home. Hopefully the Redbirds bring the bats against Domingo Germán, and I think they should be able to get Jordan Montgomery some run support, right? Jordan Montgomery faces his old team. Yes, the former Yankee. Now he's facing the Yankees. 4 earned runs allowed in each of his last 2 starts. Not great showings at all for Jordan Montgomery. I know a lot of Yankees fans were sort of celebrating his departure. Like, get lost, buddy. It didn't work. I think St. Louis is going to welcome him with open arms. He's exactly what they want. And you know what? This is a sort of revenge narrative. And I'm not gonna say this factored into my analysis at all, but he has been in the same clubhouse with all these Yankees hitters. Don't you think he might know some of their tendencies? I'm just saying it might. I know the Yankees offense is daunting. First in batting average, first in OPS. Versus righties. They are on the road they are really, really solid versus left-handed pitchers. Montgomery is a left-handed pitcher. I said righty, but he's a lefty. The key for Montgomery today, he's got to limit the walks, right? You got to keep the ball in the yard. But it's encouraging, though, because pulling his game walks, he has limited the walks, right? I told you, he has given up, a few home runs, a few catastrophic games. But, he's only had 2 walks in 1 out of his last 5 games. So that's pretty solid. A walk here or there against this Yankees offense doesn't necessarily kill you. You just can't have multiple base runners and then the 3-run judge shot. You just can't have that, right? Now, when we're talking about late game, Yankees second in bullpen ERA, St. Louis is 11th in bullpen ERA, so a little bit of an advantage for the Yankees in there, but nothing crazy, nothing that I don't see the Cardinals being able to come back from. Look, I really do like the Redbirds for the value, and I also look at this slate and I say, what's the parlay piece that a lot of people could just throw in their parlays and be wrong? A lot of people bet Yankees. They love it. They're addicted to it. But you know what? They're due to lose, and I don't know if they lose in game one, but I'm certainly calling it in this one. Now, real quick, I do want to touch on a line read pick. I love doing the line reading. It's honestly how I'm starting to read these sharper books, right? The Reds plus 1.5. First of all, it can't be me kind of typing up a Reds analysis with Nick Lodolo on the mound. The analysis I have for you is the Brewers at plus money on the run line seems too good to be true, because at the time we're recording this video, they got a really decent lead against the Reds. Look like they're going to cover that one. I think people going back to the well on the Brewers might cause them some trouble. Just saying on that one. But Austin, what do we got for today?
Yeah, so like I mentioned at the top of the show is that, we have been doing our hit streak challenge day one. Actually, we're waiting on hopefully LeMahieu to get a hit. And if he does, we'll go to day two. But we don't want to, put out some picks without knowing exactly what happened the day before. So check the pinned comment. You'll know exactly what we're doing with hit streak props come that time. But for my pick of the day, got to get rid of K props. I have had no luck on those. So I'm going to go to a team total. I'm taking the Astros team total under 5 runs, minus 122 on FanDuel. Now, before I dive into exactly why, I would say I'll play this still at 4.5, although the 5 is much nicer because we get a nice push potential at 5 runs. You aren't going to get that at 4.5. But let's dive into this, and let's do a little bit of line reading like Logan's been doing, and he's been killing it over the past couple weeks. Now, the Astros so far, the past couple of games, 6, and 9 runs. They've been pouring it on, and the last 2 games have been against the Guardians, easily covering this total. And you look at this line, they're setting the over 4, or the over 4.5 is like minus 115. The over 5 is like plus 100. And basically would be giving out free money. I think not so fast. We look at the Astros last 2 games when they had Verlander and then they have Valdez on the mound. These teams, they were like minus 200. And it's not like they were going up against bad pitchers for the Guardians. They were still trotting out normal starters. And now they find themselves as minus 150 to minus 160 on the money line. Similar to what Logan's talking about. Yankees, people are going to throw them into the parlay. Could the Astros be another team? People want to trust them, want to put them out there, and then they turn out to be the trash shows on a Saturday. That would not surprise me at all. And we look at them. We got who's on the mound for the Guardians? Cal Quantrill. Now, he's not necessarily a guy. I wish it was Shane Bieber and we were getting this line. But Cal Quantrill, give it what it is. He enters with a 7-5 record, 4.08 ERA, 1.32 WHIP. Numbers aren't great, but at home he's been very solid. 5-0 record, 3.44 ERA, and a 1.118 WHIP. So he's been very dialed in at home. In 11 home starts, the opposing team 8-2-1 to the under 5 runs. That means they went under 8 of the 11, and they pushed in 1 of them and then lost in 2. They actually went easily over 5 runs. Look at the Astros. Knock on wood, haven't scored 5+ runs in 4 straight games all year long. They played 108 games, but unable to do it in 4 straight. And it's very hard to be a consistent offense like that, to put up 6+ runs and ruin this bat. It's tough to do that, and the bats are bound to go cold, at least for 1 game. You throw in a stinker, then maybe you get back onto the heater. But look, I just like the Guardians to keep this one close, potentially win this outright. Personally, I would take the plus 1.5 if you don't want to take the 4.5. I think the Guardians keep it close, and I don't think the Guardians win a shootout here. So that's why I'm leaning towards the team total under 5 runs. I just don't see them getting it done. If this game's like 7-5 or 7-6, I just don't see the Astros. I just don't think the Guardians can outgun the Astros if this is a high-scoring game. The over-under is like 8.5, which they don't expect it. Guardians, for what it's worth, 8th in bullpen ERA. So once Quantrill comes out, the bullpen should be able to hold it down. So I'm taking the Astros, taking their under, team total 5.5, just 5 runs. I think it's a pretty sharp play. Taking it minus 122, and I'm going to run with that one. But Logan, I think you know what time it is. It's Nerfy Nation time. People have got to go grab their flags. If they're on the COS All-Star, go become an All-Star. Because if you were an All-Star, you get these plays like 9 hours before everyone else. That's one of the perks of becoming an All-Star. But Logan, we've been on a good run. Today we're going with the Rays versus Tigers. No one first inning, minus 132 on Barstool. Look, we love this one, and there's a couple reasons why. Now on the mound, we will have Mr. Hill for the Tigers. Yeah, pretty solid. He's been 4-1 on Nerfy's. Obviously, not a lot of starts to his name. Nuno the Rays. This is a up and down offense. Some games they're scoring a ton of runs. Some games they aren't. They're tied for 7th in first inning runs. Knock on wood, haven't scored a first inning run in 5 straight games. They've been really struggling. I think Mr. Hill can get me those first 3 outs. I know who was on the mound for the Rays, Logan, but who is it? Hopefully he can do it.
Yeah, hopefully Shane McClanahan can, right? Shane McClanahan, 14-6 on Nerfies this year. Now we have caught a few of those stray Nerfies in there, which come on, Shane, you're better than that. You're not going to sell Nerfy Nation once more, right? Detroit, 27th in first inning runs. I think he should be able to navigate this top half of the Tigers order. Like, honestly, at the end of the day, you have to be okay with the Nerfy probability or possibility. Yesterday we were on Pirates, Orioles, and we knew that the top half of those lineups, they're not the best offensively. They're not scrubs, but they're not the best. This game kind of mirrors that sort of liking. The over under sits at 7.5. And to be honest, like I'm looking at how this game's currently going. These two teams are kind of scoring a little bit too many runs in the most recent game. So I think they're kind of due some regression back down to those lower offensive stats. So I do really love this one as a Nerfy bet. I think Nerfy Nation, we're going to fly a flag. And for any of you who watched yesterday's Nerfy, oh man, I mean, I needed to change a shirt after it. But you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. That's why these Nerfy bets are fun. That's why we do this, because we just love the sweat, the 1 inning sweat.
Yeah, and there's nothing better than it. If you took the Cubs Marlins ones, you had a no-run first inning through like all 9 innings. So that game was miserable to watch as a spectator, but still the Cubs ended up pulling out for the homies. But like that's our no-one first inning. McClanahan's probably the best pitcher that has the worst record for Nerfy Nation. Like it's weird to see a guy with like a 2 ERA be 14-6, but we're counting on him today. That's our no-one first inning. Normally we do a parlay of the day. I have no clue how our parlay of the day did on Friday. Hopefully it cashed. I do know the first leg cashed. Now waiting on Mariners -1.5. But we'll have an Underdog Fantasy parlay down below in the pinned comment. Let's say by 10:30 Eastern time, 11. Once I land, I'll go and do all cooking and find exactly what lines I like. So definitely sign up for Underdog using code COS. Appreciate you guys as always for letting us film this a little bit early for you guys. We appreciate it. Let's get on another good run, Logan, and we'll catch you guys again on Sunday.